Um, do we need to think in very outwardly nonviolent terms as it relates to how we protest, how we show up, how we dress, how we, you know what I mean? Like how we comport ourselves at protests? Or is it still now the time to show that we will fight for ourselves? Whether I don't mean like attacking people, but I do
Mhm.
mean, kind of like the Panthers used to, like showing up in a very extreme way. Does
Mhm.
doing that right now give Trump and, the people of the United States this like space where they can agree with guard deployments because they're afraid of the threat of violence in these blue cities where people are showing up with, maybe guns or whatever, or looking like black bloc?
I do think that nonviolence is a powerful tool against fascism, and I think that not just the examples here in the United States through the civil rights movement or through the Black Lives Matter movement, but also international examples of resistant nonviolence has just been a powerful movement tool, and I think it still is. Um, uh, I think to your point, we do, however, undermine like the um, parallel movement of armed self-defense that also happened during the civil rights movement and all of these things. That was the counterbalance to that narrative. I think that the threat of political violence is definitely more real than it's ever been. If, whether you think about it on the right with these groups that clearly, right, attack the Capitol, were threatening to assassinate members of Congress, the assassination of state legislators,
Yeah.
in Minnesota this year. That threat is real.
It's not the threat of violence anymore. It is outward violence now. But
Mhm.
because it's spaced in such a way
Yeah,
and becomes just one headline a couple of days apart, it then just it kind of resets back to threat, and
yeah,
then it happens and then
yeah,
sets back to threat, and
Yeah.
we're in this
Yeah.
almost like this strange way that they just keep us going,
yeah.
right?
No, that's true. I mean, and I think to your point, I think those groups exist and they're becoming more prevalent now. I think
Yeah.
about one of my good friends, Sarah Anthony, who's a state senator in Michigan who received multiple death threats a few years ago. She's the chair of the Senate Appropriations Committee, Black woman senator, and so was obviously just getting a lot of threats around the time with this plot to kidnap Governor Whitmer was also
Right. Right.
boiling. And she, was under real threat and armed, Second Amendment armed resistance group, mostly black men, escorted her into the state capitol every day for days. To one, show solidarity, but I think also to send that message, right, that violence won't be tolerated and that there are folks there to protect her. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.